distinguished adventurers, welcome to the Sketching Hour, where two artists and a musician make things happen over the next hour. I'm your musician, Lauren. I'm the community manager for Idle Champions, and with me are two amazing artists. Michelle, would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Michelle Papadopoulos. I'm one of the artists on Idle Champions, and I'm excited to draw some cool creatures today.
Awesome. And Alexis.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm the art lead for Idle Champions, and I'm hoping to draw something really cute today, but we'll see what we roll.
Yeah.
We will see what we roll. So for those of you who are new to our show, our two artists are going to be drawing something based on the rolls we're about to make on these three tables that you can see to that side of me, depending on which way you're looking at me. That could be my right or my left. So we've mixed it up a couple of times. Let me just double check. I believe Michelle's got monsters, Alexis has cute animals, and I have adjectives. I'm using my gold D20 today.
Shiny.
Let's see what we get. Oh, I love that noise. Okay, for our monster, Michelle, what'd we get?
I got 12. I got imp.
Imps. Okay, for adjective. Oh, that's hard to read. I got an 8. I got legendary.
Whoa.
Oh.
And how about our cute animal?
I also rolled a 12, so we have a sloth.
All right. A nice quick imp and an incredibly slow sloth, but legendary versions of each. That's awesome. So our artists are going to be using a program called Magma Studios, which lets them share a canvas, lets us watch as they make amazing art, and also just kind of have fun enjoying things. Although it looks like it might be frozen on my end.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's so high. Might have to.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see. There we go.
Wasn't working for a second, but now it seems to be working. Okay, making sure that we can see the art. And I gotta update the title of the episode because there was cake. I'm gonna be honest, my secret joy in this show every week is coming up with a ridiculous title for the show that lasts for about 3 minutes until we actually have the real title of the show, which in this case is legendary. I'm gonna go legendary imp sloths. Does that make sense? Legendary sloth imps?
Legendary
Imp
sloth.
All right.
Yeah.
Legendary imp
Whichever one
sloths.
you want.
I think we both just want more sloths than imps. So there we go. For if you're interested, if you've missed our show in the past, last week on the Sketching Hour, last time on Sketching Hour, we had capybara tarasques with an item. It was a complicated one, and so this is what they came up with, which is awesome. And I still want that cloak. And if you are at home and want to join in on the art extravaganza, the mashup of monsters, you can. You can roll along with us and create your own creature, or you can join us in whatever we are crafting today. And that has happened, and people posting on social media, and it's amazing. So for the capybara tarasques, I have to think about it every time. We did have Banana Monster back with this massive creature. Look at those teeth.
That's a lot of teeth.
Wow.
This is definitely more on the tarasque side of the capybara tarasque. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I love it. And they got the little pendant right there because you had to have it with an item. And then 2 weeks ago, we actually got art from Ivy for the flower unicorn, and I completely missed it. And so we get to see it today because
I love this piece.
it's so gorgeous.
Yeah,
I love the
that's so
watercolor-esque version of it, like the feel of it. So yes, check us out on Twitter. You can follow any of our regular social medias for Idle Champions. If you post to Twitter, use the hashtag Sketching Hour, so that's a lot easier for me to find it. Although sometimes I just miss things because social media, there's a lot. There's a lot of things out there.
I'm going to sign out and sign back in. It's acting funny for me.
It's acting funny. All right. take the time you
Right
need.
back.
Meanwhile, I will come on over here to the chat. And I am going to grab my usual stuff. So, also for those of you who are new, not only do we have an Electrum chest for you up there in above my head, and you can get it in the chat, but usually the first thing we do once the show starts is I need replacements for the rolling tables for Imps, Legendary, and Sloth. So I would love to hear from the chat any suggestions you have for replacements. I've got a list of stuff that just keeps growing. But I love that every week we always end up with new things. Our Green Paradox went sleepy or in PJs. That is on the to happen list, but I like the idea of adding in PJs. And because now I kind of just want an adorable animal in like a onesie.
A pajama gelatinous cube.
Oh. Ooh. Okay, fuzzy and slimy at the same time.
Yeah. Slowly dissolving its bunny slippers.
Well, now it has to happen. Now we need it to happen. Coriston Hald said bearded.
Ooh.
All right, I'll put that on the list. I am intrigued. That is one of those where depending on what monster we get, that might be a redundant adjective, but we've dealt with that before. That's fine. Bearded on the list is, let's see, square pants. Yeah. Lousy bum absolutely is square pants. Although if you put a gelatinous cube in pants, is it one pant leg or do they still have two pant legs?
Because if it's just one leg, wouldn't that just be like a skirt?
You know what? I think you're right. Is the idea of pants is that they have to be pants? You can't just have pant?
It's one of those philosophical questions that can't really be answered.
Yeah, we're 7 minutes into the show and already I'm completely distracted by the philosophy behind pants. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're supposed to be getting replacement stuff for the rolling tables, and instead now everybody's talking about windsocks and kilts. Yeah, a kilt would actually a little tartan kilt on a gelatinous cube. Aw. That would be adorable. Garwar says I feel like gelatinous cube would wear overalls. Or at least suspenders. What's the difference between overalls and suspenders?
Overalls have pants, and suspenders are just
The straps.
the straps.
There you go. We avoid the whole idea of are you wearing pants or a kilt or a skirt, and we just yes, I love it. Yeah. I think every overalls and suspenders. Okay. I love this chat. I love the fact that I can just ask this chat the most random of questions. I know you're here for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and for art, but really what you're here for is philosophical questions about pants. Aw, thanks, Mars. Chat loves us too. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit. Also, if you do have questions about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, or about what we're doing here, or about art or community management or oboe stuff, feel free to ask in the chat, because we answer questions too. Our lovely moderator Sasha should be in chat. Thank you mods, and they'll be passing along questions. I'm also kind of keeping an eye on chat because chat moves fast, and so I try to at least get some of the quick comments that come up. Oh, Cassius335 says if gelatinous cube is the caretaker of the dungeon. Nice Bardic Inspiration reference. I like that. Presumably they dress accordingly. Okay, so would that be
Coveralls?
I guess, yeah. They'd be in like workman's clothes. Workperson's clothes. And overalls. Yes, of course. Let's see. Overalls and a name tag. I love it. Oh, and we've got questions. TC Hatchet says, are these finished pictures posted anywhere? Yes. Yes. Once our artists are done, we put them up on social media. They usually go up a couple of days after the episode on our socials, and often I use them as the image to go with the social media post to promote that the episode has gone up on YouTube. So you can definitely see them there. So check out our social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Twitter is kind of the easiest one. But yes, you can see those there. Ironnook wants to know, Lauren, have you used your oboe skills in any of the Idol Champions music? Not the in-game music. I've just lost who the music that we have in game, not the Bardic Inspiration stuff, because that's also awesome. But the other soundtrack stuff, I've forgotten who wrote that. But no, I'm not a musician in that. The closest I've come is if you watch Champions of Psychology, there is a disclaimer that they play at the beginning and the middle. And there is some oboe music that happens, and I'm talking. So you get to hear me talking over me playing, which is kind of me-inception.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
It happened just before I started to work here. I don't remember how it came up, but I was watching Champions of Psychology, and someone mentioned how they should have a narration of the disclaimer that comes up, because they take a break and kind of put the disclaimer up and have some nice music. And I messaged Dr. B and Trevor, and I was just like, hey, I can help you with that. I just need to know what you need. So that was a fun thing. Thornbriar wants to know, so is the code usually something you drew last time? And did you draw cute capybaras last time? Yes and yes. I'm glad you asked. Welcome. So, the code ends up being most of the time a reference to what we came up with last week. Not always, but it's fun to reference it. And in this case, this is just referencing the capybara part of the Tarrasque capybaras with an item. Tarrasque bears, yes, thank you. So that's... I forgot what it would... We had the chat vote, and I've completely forgotten. I have it written down somewhere, but it's in another document. But yeah, Terry Bearers, Cappy Terrors. There were a couple different good suggestions chat came up with. But yes, these are the amazing things that Michelle and Alexis drew last week on the Sketching Hour. Terry Bearers. I'm getting told from chat. I think you're right. Yes, but, so, I mean, I tend to come up with the codes the day before, because that's when I do most of my prep for the show, is the day before. I put in all of the other art that we get and create all the little overlay stuff, because being on camera is the easy part for me. It's the technical stuff that's the hard part for me. So making sure all the audio works and the video works and the overlays work and all of that. That is not my forte, so that takes a little bit longer, so I try to do it the day before. But yeah. Meister Wilbur says, would freelance qualify as a new adjective? I don't know, would either of you want freelance as an as an adjective? Would that be something that could be drawn?
I don't know what I would do for that.
Yeah, me neither. Besides having like a coffee and on a computer, but we do that right now because we work from home.
Freelancer. How would you? Yeah, I guess a freelancer would just be someone who just looks like they work 12 different jobs. Tired, sleepy, in PJs.
At a coffee shop or something.
Yeah, at a coffee
in
Starbucks. Mars says, this could be fun. It's like holding a look for work sign. Oh. I mean, true, but also aw. Oh, yes. If you missed the dice rolling, we have legendary imp sloths. That's going to be a lot more fun to say than some of our other terms. So yes, legendary is going to be an interesting adjective. And then imp was our monster and sloth was our our cute animal, which I like saying in the most monstrous way possible because it's fun. Sloth. But
The most ferocious beast ever. The
I mean,
sloth.
if you don't know, like, if you knew nothing about a sloth and you just saw a picture, they do have those wicked long claws. Now, I know they're supposed to be for, like, hanging and climbing on things, but they are gigantic claws. So, I could see them being scary if you don't know.
This is true.
Ooh, some people have gone right to naming these creatures already. I am impressed. Chirpy Chirpy and Cheep Cheep from Not Motivated by Greed. That's a good Twitch name, by the way. I'm impressed. Yeah. I love it. Alias Buck says maybe Imp is the cute one. I think you can have a cute Imp. I don't think they have to be... I think the classic is a little demonic, but that's not necessarily not cute. But I think it's a comparison at this point. Like, let me go back to our rolling tables, just so you see. Like, there are definitely monsters on this table that are objectively adorable. Flumph being one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just cute. Modrons, I think, are adorable.
Some Modrons. Other ones are a little scary looking.
Okay, so is it the number of arms or the number of eyes that turn it from cute to scary? Because I think they're all cute, but they all, like, double in eyes and arms.
I think it's the ones with the really big mouths.
Yeah, there's one with like tentacles and a big mouth or something like that, like a round one.
Yeah, there's a starfish one. Yeah, that has, like, big lips.
Yeah, that one's strange.
Yeah.
Michelle, you drew a lot of the Modrons in the game, right?
Yeah. That one weirded me out though.
So you are our Modron expert. Did you draw? So is this for the Great Modron March?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you also draw? Slight spoilers for an adventure that's been out for a couple of years now. Did you also draw the creature pretending to be a Modron?
That doesn't sound familiar. I don't think so.
So you stuck with
No.
actual Modrons.
Yeah, actual Voltrons.
That's awesome. How many different versions, different types of Modrons did you draw? Because I know there's a lot.
Yeah, there were quite a few. I can't think of the actual number. It was quite a while ago now. Maybe 5, 6 types.
We could take a quick look at the art chart.
Yeah. You can. I need to continue to figure out this creature.
You got plenty of time. It'll be fine.
It'll be hard to count. They're sorted alphabetically, so Duodrone and Monodrone are all separated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, somewhere Primus is so upset that you did these alphabetically instead of numerically. Somewhere Primus is just very calmly being not upset because they're a true neutral entity. Sorry, I'm doing a deep cut into D&D lore. This is now Champions of Lore. Welcome. These are not lore creatures, but I will be talking about lore. Yes, Andromech. Mono, Duo, Tri, Quad, Penta, and Deca. Those are the official 5e versions, but if you go into previous editions that do a little bit more in some of those planar stuff, there are more. There are way more. I don't know if all of them have stats, so they might not be the kind of creature that you're going to encounter in fight. They might just be atmospheric because of the way that society works. But yeah, I know in previous editions it's a whole big pyramid of Modrons. Let's see. Oh, we got some more questions from chat. Monster. Oh, Zaniqua suggests a Pegasus is a monster or a nightmare. So we had this discussion when there was a deer on here with what happens if you end up with deer, horse. If you do horse and horse, is that going to be a problem? But we can think about putting a nightmare on there.
Yeah, as long as we don't have fiery on the adjective list.
We don't at the moment because we did the fire frogs.
Yeah.
So
we got like nightmare, fiery, and horse. Like,
and
okay.
and I know we don't have a Pegasus, but I thought we had with wings on here. Maybe we don't anymore. Maybe that might be one of the things that got suggested. That's just on the list of. Oh, I've got flying. Yeah, so that's a possible adjective. So maybe we'll put horse and flying back on the list, and then you might end up with a Pegasus. Isn't that how D&D monsters are made? Is a wizard did it seems to be the answer, but yeah. Rainbow as an adjective.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. For sure.
How have we not thought of that before? Rainbow. I like that because that indicates either a background or a creature that is rainbow colored. Or both.
Yeah.
Some dude chillin' said maybe it's a flying horse who's in witness protection. I mean, I'm not going to out a flying horse in witness protection. If they just want to be a horse, they're a horse. Is a regular horse, yes. I like this. Now everybody's just talking about horse. I mean, that's like we were talking about spider before. How many legs does a spider have? But at least how many legs does a horse have is a slightly cuter thought, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there are spider horses. Those are a previous edition monster as well. This apparently has turned into Champions of Lore. I didn't expect to go this deep in. We're gonna have to have like B. Dave and Aaron M. Evans and Trevor on here to talk about lore while you're drawing.
I think that would be a really fun episode.
Yeah.
I would love for them to come on. It'd be a little packed on the screen because there'd be a lot of us. But so we do the normal rolling, and then they come on and they talk about the lore of the creature, the monster that is one of the roles, and then we come up with a story behind these creatures all together. So that could be super fun. Anthe says Champions of Lore, and I mean it's, I don't know if I'm egotistical enough to call an episode that, but I like it. I appreciate it. Emote, you bring up an interesting monster, the Gorgon. So here's the thing. I believe so the D&D Gorgon is a bull. It's a big metal bull. I think it still turns things to stone. Someone will have to correct me on that. I think it still does turn things to stone, but it is not the Medusa version. That's a different creature. So there's been some confusion about that. I want to put the Gorgon on there, but then we might end up with Cow. Because I think Cow's on the list, or Cow was on the list. So yes, we got to be a little careful about what we put on there. As much as a Gorgon would be awesome to have on there, we don't want to end up with Cow. We don't want to end up with Cow horse, or horse, or spider.
We could always just reroll if those things come up too.
That's true. But I try to keep, you know what? It's a weird thing that I obsess over. It's kind of like what I name the episode for the 5 minutes before we roll on our tables. I think about it way too much.
Oh.
Cassia says cow could be a centaur. That's true. Depends on which part of what cow. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry I brought up spider. TC Hatchet. Would a spider be a spider made up of a swarm of spiders?
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, Michelle, I think you were the person last time who was like, I don't know what I want to think about that, except I want to think flamethrowers.
Yeah, just burn it all down.
Mm-hmm. No, we're not getting back into the spider chat. I love you, but no more spider talk. Can we go back to talking about these creatures here? So we've got legendary imp sloths. So how do we end up with legendary... First off, how do we end up with imp sloths? And then, are there different versions? Are these like dragons, where you have young, adult, ancient? Do you have like... I mean, legendary is a type of a rarity of equipment. So you end up with like basic blues, purples, and then legendary imp sloths. Yeah, of course, Andromech, a wizard, did it. Which is also the tag for Champions of Lore, so I appreciate that. Star Chaser says, if double or triple happens, i.e. spider, 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 then it becomes artist choice. I do kind of like that instead of re-rolling, because I feel like if we re-roll a spider, 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 then you're just going to end up with more spiders. That's just the dice will just do that to you.
Mm-hmm. Like the lucky feat. You can only reroll once, and then you have to take what you get.
Okay. All right. I like that. Nicodemus says the legendary imp sloths against their arch enemies, the barely known cherub quicklings. Ooh, quicklings would be a good thing to have on the list. Let me add that on there. I mean, that's kind of... They're kind of fairy-ish, but more devious, so... Alias Buck wants to know what the legendary action for a legendary imp sloth is. Do either of you have any ideas what your legendary actions might be?
Legendary nap.
Ooh. You can get a long rest in the time it takes you to... In an hour instead of in 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legendary nap.
Yeah. Or like the legendary sloth gets a long rest in a 6-second turn.
Ooh. That might be a little overpowered, but I like it.
It can only be used once.
I like the idea of of throwing that at my players. As a legendary action, this creature is going to go to sleep for 6 seconds, but then get all of its powers back.
Yeah, and its hit points.
Oh. And it's wait,
so
then
evil.
it gets its legendary actions back. Hold on, wait. I love this and hate this at the same time. This is so broken, it's amazing.
It would have to have some kind of thing that you can only that legendary action doesn't.
You only get to do it once. That's
just once within a 24-hour period.
That's probably how it would work. Although I like the idea of statting that up and then doing that and then just letting the creature continue to sleep. Because then there's you give them enough hit points because they're a legendary creature, and your character's just your PC's just wailing on this monster, and it's just sleeping, just being cute and sleeping. Oh yeah, Emote says can only do it once per week, which in terms of a D&D creature that you might encounter in an actual adventure means once, because how often do you really? I mean, I guess legendary, sometimes you're going to encounter the same creature multiple times. But usually when you get into a battle with a creature, you're not encountering that thing again. Trafalgar says adjective grumpy. Is grumpy on the list?
That's a good one.
That is grumpy. It is added to the list of possibilities. Imp sloths are the right size and manner to be mistaken as decorative gargoyles. Ooh. I mean,
especially when they're napping. You're like, is it?
Yeah.
No, not moving, not breathing.
Irenook says maybe something about the imps being too lazy to do their work around the dungeon, so the boss gets mad and made them sloths for real. I mean, that's definitely a thing a fiend would do, for sure. Dire imp sloths. Big, large imps from Evil Emperor Zerg. Dire is just a great way of describing any creature. I think we have dire on the rolling table, actually.
Yeah, at least
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, 15. Which might also be a little, that might be redundant depending on what we end up with, but...
A dire wolf.
Do we have wolf on here? We have puppy. Can you have a dire puppy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, if the artists say so, then who am I to argue with the artists? Absolutely, we're keeping them both on there.
Yeah, he's extra scary.
Oh. Oh, this is cute. Hold on. Happy Leper says, it sleeps for 100 years and can't be damaged unless it's awake. That's the entire stat block. That's it. Like, if I was to create this creature, yes, it is asleep. Anything you do will not wake it up. You can damage it, but it just constantly regenerates. But it's so cute. Look at it. I love how both of you have immediately gone with that sloth face with like the little smile.
It's just so cute. How can you not?
Yeah.
It is adorable.
They kind of look like what's that, like little tiny green fiend with the big ears?
Goblins? Well, they're not fiends. Little tiny green fiend with the big ears. Sverfneblin are not green. Fiend. Oh, I'm failing at this Champions of Lore episode. Oh no. Oh, Quasit?
Yeah, the closet.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, Piano Vanna and Babylon Ranger for Quasit. Cheers unto you.
From my excellent description.
I mean, your excellent description got 2 people in chat immediately to Quasit, so you're doing good. Okay, so we've got a legendary imp sloth that is going to sleep for 100 years, and it wakes up once every 100 years.
My sloth can grow its sharp. What are they? Not fangs.
Claws.
Fingernails.
Ooh.
Claws. It can grow them really extra long on its hand.
Now,
Swipe people.
I was going to ask, is it a offensive or defensive maneuver, or is it for painting?
Oh, I guess it could do everything.
That's
Why
true.
not?
Depending on how you approach your legendary imp sloth. If you are friendly towards it, then it's going to sit and like...
Could do some abstract paintings on a large canvas of metal, because it would probably just tear apart normal canvas.
You know, I just now realized I wasn't clear when I said painting. I meant painting nails, like doing your But your thing makes way more
I
sense.
thought like dipping his claw in paint and rubbing it everywhere.
There are those animals in captivity that they've taught to paint. I guess taught to paint. I mean, who am I to say whether something is art or not? But like, I've seen elephants. I think I've seen gorillas. Not like in person. On YouTube. That's how I see everything nowadays. I wonder if there are sloths that do painting. Really slow painting.
Yes.
Trafalgar says, imagine taking that sloth into the pet store for a nail clipping. That's going to take forever, but unlike your dogs and cats and birds and stuff who are going to be uncomfortable, your legendary imp sloth is just going to be asleep. Maybe open an eye or two and be like, oh, look, I got a manicure. Ooh, Happy Leaper, it could do haircuts really well. Ooh. See, now I know these are creatures, but like, between imps being a familiar and also an animal that can converse, a monster that can converse with you, and sloths just being sloths, I kind of want this to be the kind of creature you encounter that you talk with, that you don't fight. That this is the creature that you go to, to get your hair done. Why not?
Yeah, I like that idea too.
So imps are tiny. Sloths are relatively large, right? They're like several feet in length, I think.
That's bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, I thought they were like teddy
size?
bear size. Like
I thought that they were bigger than that. I thought that they were like small human child sized. You know what? It's that time. It's the time of the sketching hour. First off, it's the time of the sketching hour where I invite all the new people who have come to the show from the alert in the game. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the sketching hour. We are currently, well, Michelle and Alexis are currently drawing legendary imp sloths. I am about to do our weekly go to Google to figure out how big are sloths? How big sloth? Sloths. All right, the biggest sloth in the world. Oh, those are like, okay, those are giant ground sloths. I don't want to know the biggest sloth in the world. Three-toed sloth. How big is a three-toed sloth? Let's find out. 14 pounds and 17 to 31 inches.
Oh,
So
okay.
12, 24, 30. So yeah, 3.5 feet. So yeah, small child.
Wow.
So are these creatures more sloth-sized or more imp-sized?
I want mine to be bigger than a sloth.
Okay.
Like mountain sized.
Because if they're legendary, I don't know. I picture it large.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was picturing large too because of the sleep for 100 years thing makes me automatically think that it's a very big creature.
Okay. I like this. Are we thinking horse-sized? Are we thinking bear-sized? Are we thinking dragon-sized?
Maybe
Dragon.
bear.
Star Chaser
I want
says,
this one to be able to like slash you to pieces.
okay. All right. Well, now we know for sure. Lauren may be thinking about this being an NPC. Michelle is all for this thing being a creature that can kill you. Be prepared. You think you're coming over to get a haircut and it's cutting off your entire head.
Yeah, it looks adorable, but you never know. They pack a punch.
That's how it lures in its victims.
Yeah.
It's too adorable. And you're like, oh, look at this wonderful imp sloth. I want to go over. And then,
But they're not. Yeah, but they're not always bad. I think they could be nice to you too. They could be NPC if you want, if you pick the right one.
Oh, and Alexis has officially drawn a screaming person running away. That I love that person for scale. That is amazing. Star Chaser does his more Godzilla-sized creatures. Why not go big?
Yep. This is my first big one in a few weeks. They've all been like kind of little.
Yeah, even the let me pull up last week. So even the Tarrasque capybaras, both of you went small on the. I mean, when you're talking about a Tarrasque, everything is small, right? But I think both of you went on the slightly smaller side of things. And the unicorn sheep were also kind of on the smaller side. This was the dragon parrots. I think we talked about the life cycle of the dragon parrots, but or the flowery dragon parrots. But they started off pretty small. So yeah, time for Godzilla. Why not? Banana for scale, says Alfarker. But screaming running person for scale. Courtesan Halt wants to know, did we already do zebra for an animal? We haven't done zebra for the same reason that we haven't done horse, because we had deer. Also because horse. Of course. But, we've talked about having a dog list and just doing all of the different breeds of dogs. Then maybe we need to do like horse, deer, unicorn, Pegasus, zebra.
Woof week.
I'm sorry, what?
Woof week.
Woof week.
Woof week. Yeah.
There
Hoof
you
week
go.
and woof week.
Hoof and woof.
Yep.
It's the hoof and woof week. I might be writing that down. Hoof and woof week. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see about adding those back on in. All right, I have zero transition. I've been waiting for someone to ask about this, because usually we eventually get someone asking if these are creatures that might be showing up in the game. And you might want to come to next week's show, because next week's show, we're going to be doing something very special. And if you've been wondering about maybe some of these amazing creatures that Michelle and Alexis have been drawing ending up in say a game that you enjoy, then you might find next week's show really, really fun. And that's all I'm gonna say. Tease! I'm teasing things. But for now, let's go back to legendary imp sloths.
Yep.
We usually get someone in the chat who's like, are these going into the game? And I was kind of waiting on that, but we were so distracted talking about horse. I'm gonna say this name. It's gonna happen. DDM Boy of Doom. DDM Boy? Sure. Would they even be able to move their wings fast enough to fly?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
This might be the dragon, you're just magic until you can fly. Like, there's plenty of creatures in D&D that when you look at their anatomy, that you're like, but it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
When you got
bumblebees, they just can.
There you go. Real life magic. Bumblebees. They can't fly. They don't actually fly. Bumblebees are just a figment of your magical imagination.
That's one of those facts that you hear a bunch and you don't actually know if it's true. So do bumblebees, are they really like not aerodynamic at all and shouldn't be able to fly? Or is that just one of those fake facts that you learn as a kid and then think is real for the rest of your life?
I think it's both. I think you hear about it and then it's one of those and we're like, okay, the nuanced answer is, and I don't know if I remember what the nuanced answer is, and I'm not going to look that up on Google because I've done my one for the day. That's it. Ira Nook wants to know, can Orkira use her wings to fly? Yes, actually. So my Dragonborn cleric does have wings, and she can fly. She actually has a pretty fast fly speed because her walking speed is bad because she's got huge wings, and they get in the way of the walking. So there is a downside to if your wings get too big. You may get a incredible fly speed, but then you're really awkward when you're walking. That's why in the game, if you watch her walk, especially if she's next to Penelope just skips along and is all cute. And then Orkira's just like, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And that is 100% on brand. Totally on brand. Let's see. Tromby wants to know, do imp sloths have any kind of fauna growing in their fur? Ooh. I guess, Michelle, this might be more directed at your lovely green creature you've got going on here.
Yeah,
is there some algae?
That's kind of what I was thinking, like to blend in with the forest or any whatever environment they're in. He has his, it could be caused by algae, the color of his fur. All kinds of things growing in there.
I love how we've got these cute animals and Michelle's like, I'm going to create the most deadly hunter on the planet. It can meld into its environment, but if you do see it, it's so cute that you can't resist coming up to it.
Yes.
And then it kills you. I love this. This is the deadliest thing you've ever drawn, and I love it. And I want one. I want a whole bunch. Is that tail? Please tell me the tail is poisonous.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Sure. I love it so much. Yes, the wings only provide shade. When you've killed your prey. Sorry. Cassius says bumblebees are just small cars with good PR. That's really good PR. Like, I've just, all right, my brain's been broken by that idea. Yeah, the bumblebee wing thing was disproved years ago. I mean, the honest answer is there are bumblebees and they fly. Mother Nature says it gonna do what it does. So just because physicists had a hard time with it does not mean that it's not true. Yeah. But Bavarian says, so Michelle is drawing a mossy imp sloth. A legendary mossy imp sloth. Absolutely. Some dude chillin' says the tail's poison is so slow acting most victims die of natural causes first. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. It's the deadliest creature on the planet if you wait long enough.
Maybe it just paralyzes them, and so they're just like laying there forever and ever until they die of old age.
And then the legendary imp sloth, it doesn't actually like physically kill you, but once you've been paralyzed in that way, it just lays down and takes a nap next to you. And by the time it wakes up,
100-year nap.
Yep. And by the time it's done with its nap, you have done your final nap.
Post-nap snack.
What a horrible way to go. You're just paralyzed and just have to wait for your death.
Yeah, that's pretty horrific.
Jeez, Michelle.
I'm so excited about. I mean, yes, Alexis, your imp sloth is adorable, and I love the colors that you've going on, and the fact that yours is just cute, even though there's a person running away from it. But I mean, I think Michelle has done the killing. I think Michelle has created the most deadly creature ever of all time.
Yeah. Cannot compete with that.
Yep. Mr. Wilbur says, do they change colors like a chameleon? So the left one is hunting in the swimming pool and the right one is hunting in a tanning salon. I mean, I guess we were figuring these as outdoor creatures, but no, imps are because they're familiars. You find them inside all the time, so why not? Why not hanging out in a tanning salon in a swimming pool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Although
tropical.
Yeah, if your swimming pool has that much algae in it, you haven't used your swimming pool in a while. Something's gone wrong. Cassius wants to know what CR are these, by the way, asking for Penelope. I mean, they're legendary, so I don't think their CR rating is going to be low enough in order for a druid to be able to wild shape into them. I don't know. Once you give it a poison that can paralyze it until it dies. Yeah, I don't think this is even a polymorphable animal. I think you're definitely in epic level creatures right here. These are some creatures that you're going to encounter when you're in the end game of D&D. DMB of Doom wants to know, where would these creatures live? I mean, anywhere they want, right? They're unkillable.
A picture hidden forest, but who knows? Could be anywhere.
There's one behind me right now. It's been stalking me for 4 days. It's eventually going to reach me, and when it does, I'm going to die. It is the slowest thing on the planet, but the most deadly. Or we could David Attenborough this up. And here we have the legendary imp sloth in its natural habitat. Anywhere. Andromech asks if we've come up with a species name. We have not. So I'm going to... I mean, Alexis, Michelle, do you have ideas about what we can call these creatures?
Probably nothing as good as chat can come up with.
Yeah, I'm sure chat could do better.
All right, chat. The gauntlet has been thrown. Oh, whoops! I also accidentally got my brush on here. Hold on, let me move this off. I feel a little weird when I look at the screen and I see this other random brush. I'm like, oh, no, get that out of there. Nope, we don't need to see that. So yes, chat. What do we call legendary imp sloths? Garwar called them slimps earlier. All right, everybody is insisting on slimps, but I don't know why that term unsettles me.
Slimp.
S-L-I-M-P-S. Slimp. I mean, it makes sense for a sloth and an imp. I wonder, I don't know, saying it. Chat, Garwar, specifically, have you actually said that word out loud? Something about saying that word feels weird. Impeth. I don't know if it's any better, but it's funnier. Oomph. Oomphs. Oh, now we're just getting into impossible to say things. Impoths. Impoths? Impoths. Ironnook says impofters. with the lisp. Impofters.
So they have, if we go with that, then they have to speak with a lisp.
Oh yeah, I think so. Or at least that's why they're called imposters. Is it's not that they all speak with a lisp, it's that the one that actually spoke to its prey and then the prey got away, because we know these creatures are incredibly dangerous and deadly. That one just misspoke and I am an imposter. And then that person managed to run away. And you will never believe what I saw. I was out in the at the pool, and this creature came out and attacked me. And it was fearsome and also cute and adorable. And it said it was an imposter.
I love it.
That might be the silliest thing I've ever done. There we go. Ezekiel said I'd called them impatience, but they're definitely not in a hurry. Nope, that is true. Okay, so we've got imposters as what these things are called. We need names for each of these specific creatures. So if you have a name for Michelle or Alexis's imposter, let me know. I feel like chat has just come up with this name just to hear me say imposter over and over again. No, our green paradox chat is wonderful. We are all here for it. We are all D&D people, and we all have weird senses of humor. It just happens. While we take a moment and come up with names for these specific creatures, I would like to remind you all that this awesome show is not the only awesome art show that you can find on this channel. There are 3 others. So our 2 other games that you can find from C&E also have their own shows. There's Crusaders Weekly with Erica and Kat, and that's on Thursdays. And there's Bushwhacker Weekly with Nick and Georgia. They do a similar thing. They chat with the audience, they do drawing, they talk about the games, and they have a lot of fun. You should definitely check those out. And if you are a fan of pancakes, and I know I am, then you want to check out Griddle Champions, which comes out on Fridays at 10 in the morning Pacific. They often do art from our show in pancake form, and also other monsters and creatures from Idle Champions, often champions in pancake form, and often spoilers for things that are coming up, or they talk about the weekend buffs that are going to be coming out. So check back on Friday for art in edible form. But now I will go to the chat. Our Green Paradox says Napster and Night Terror. I like the dual Napster. It made me think of Napster, the old app from years and years and years ago. I think it's still around actually, but I like Napster as an idea for a name. Mosh and Chet. That's from Corzin Huld. Let's
cute.
Ezekiel says Slashy and Stabitha. all right. Some do chillin', Ben and Jerry. Ooh, Star Chaser, molasses and syrup. Which one is molasses and which one is syrup? All right, we'll think about that. I think we're leaning towards Slashy and Stabitha. I think.
Yeah, it's my favorite so far.
Yeah, Slashy. For short, we got Alias Buck offering Slash and Burn.
Oh, that's cool.
And Happy Leaper saying Mert and Barney. Barney, who is also a terrifying dinosaur, who is one of the deadliest creatures on the planet. KLP here has a suggestion that I don't know if I can pronounce. AAE and Quay. I think it's Quay is the second one, but AAE. How would you pronounce that? I'm asking the chat. I'm also asking Michelle and Alexis. I'm asking anyone who can hear me right now.
AAE.
AAE. Capital A, lowercase A-E. A. Oh, all right. All right. This is a Monty Python reference, and I can appreciate that. I've just never seen it that way. Okay. Avery and Plum from Bujimfeld. I like that. Ironux says, snooze and lose. All right. I kind of like snooze and lose, but I think we're going with Slashy and Stabitha. I think those are the ones for our imposters.
Mm-hmm.
They are both adorable and also the most deadly things on the planet. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. We're already at an hour. How did that happen? I don't know.
It goes by way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes by super fast. But these creatures look amazing. So thank you, Michelle and Alexis. Alexis, where can we find more of your amazing art on the internets?
On Twitter, I'm at Alexis Theroux, and on Instagram, I'm at alexis.theroux.
And Michelle, same for you?
On Twitter, I'm at Art of Michelle, and on Instagram, I'm at Michelle Papadopoulos.
And you can find me on Twitter as Obolauren. You can find me wherever the Idle Champions is being talked about. Stay tuned for next week when, if you want to see more of these creatures maybe showing up in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, you're going to want to show up next week for next week's show. You're going to want to be ready. It's going to be awesome. And also follow us on social media, and maybe there will be more hints about what exactly we will be doing. But until that happens, stay tuned for more information about what we're going to be doing, and we will be posting the final pictures of these creatures on social media, since we had that question right at the beginning. And otherwise, we'll see you next encounter. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.